everybody in the cubicles, program. And Shark had them that ever back then be viral. Don't compare the word viral with cool. That's two totally different things. So as far as him being the chairman, I don't give a fuck. Like I said, you heard what the revolt people said. So I'm not even arguing about that. That's first and foremost. So it doesn't matter to me if he isn't. I don't work for revolt. But the one thing I would say is, how the chairman, you the chairman, and everybody in the building got more money than you. So you just want the title boss. The janitor, the secretaries, everybody in the cubicles, programming, marketing. What you want? You want to ask them for lunch money? You are the brokest boss ever. But you're not even the boss. But I'm just saying, how you the boss and you can't get to work? You ain't got no money to get to work. Congratulations. Second part of the question was what, sir?
You answered the second part.
Okay. All right, my bad.
Yeah. He said a story, and one thing I always admired about Dame, he's against cooperators and snitches. And I always admire how he stood on that. He told a story. Maybe you might want to clear it up. I mean, I know about it already, but maybe you might want to clear it up. He told a story about you and Big L in a car going to get some work, and you started crying and talking about signing in the PC. And please explain that, because it's on the Art of Dialogue, so that means it's everywhere, because that nigga's been doing this thing, and every interview he has, it's like, ooh, out of here. So explain that.
Yeah, first of all, Art of Dialogue, I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke to him today, and he does do great work, and his content is good. But you're going to have to start sending me a check, my nigga. I'm on your show, my name on your show 3-4 times a week, whether it's Dame or not Dame. You have to work something out if we keep using my name, my nigga. Now, I like your work. I like what you're doing. But goddamn, my name been on your show for 3-4 months straight. Goddamn, my nigga. Find some niggas that don't know me, nigga. Start talking to some other niggas that don't know me, because it don't even just be Dame. But first and foremost, I'll say this, man. When I heard that story, I was like, yo, this nigga's a blatant liar. I didn't know this. Blatant liar. That never happened. That's totally a lie. And I'm going to give you a little history on Dame and Big L first and foremost. But I'll say this. Even if Dame thought that, and Big L been dead for 26 years, you don't think that story would have came out somewhere? You don't think even Dame would have made a little joke with me one time, like, yo, remember that time you started crying, Kim, when so-and-so, when we was... So today, or whatever day, that's when the story comes out. Come on, Dame. Like, bro, you got to stop. You got to stop. And then what you do when you tell these bullshit lies is you implicate a nigga who dead so that they can't confirm your story. So first of all, it's a straight lie. Now, let me give you a little bit of history on Big L, Dame, and Lenox Avenue from 139th to 142nd Street. Big L didn't really fuck with Dame like that. He ain't hate him or nothing like that. They just didn't fuck with each other. The way the demographic goes is this for people who don't live in Harlem. I'm from 140th and Lenox. On the weekends, I used to go to 110th and 1st, between 1st and FDR Drive, where my grandmother lived in 1199. And that's where I met Dame at when I go see my grandmother on the weekends. Then I found out he hung out on 142nd Street. That's the dynamic. That's first and foremost. Dame is from the east side. I'm from the west side, but my grandmother lived on the east side. So Big L's career wasn't doing great. And Dame and Rockefeller were kind of growing. But Big L was still a great lyricist, and niggas wanted to fuck with him. So Dame was like, yo, what's up? I can manage Big L, this, that, and the third, yada, yada. So I plugged him in with Big L, and I told Big L, I'm like, yo, my man Dame doing his thing, he may want to manage you. And I knew that Jay-Z potentially wanted to sign him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's all their relationship is. Me, Dame, and Big L never been no damn car together. We've never rode to get no work. First of all, let me tell you something, man. What the fuck do it look like Big L, me, and Dame going to get some work, had some work in the car? Any of that. It don't even, the hangout, the crew don't even sound right. Anybody that lived on 139th Street to 142nd Street during that time, know this don't even make no motherfucking sense. It sounds stupid. Secondly, Big L brother, Big Lee, and the other nigga who kind of, the big homies on my block, Reg, they didn't like Dame. Dame had a GS 300, black joint, and he had a white Camry. They used to let me drive when I was younger. And I would drive the Camry around and, this, that, and the third. So one day Dame pulls up on 139th Street, and he's talking to me. And he pulls off. We talked about 5-10 minutes because I knew I'd see him later. I had one of his cars. And Big Lee came up to me. He was like, yo, homeboy, yo, that nigga came over here to see you, the Dame nigga? And I was like, yeah, that's my man. That's my nigga. He's like, yeah, I don't like him, man. I was like, you don't like him?
Damn.
Straight like that. He's like, yeah, I don't like him. I don't really want to see him over here like that. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Because I couldn't have did shit. At that time, I was like, damn. All right, Dame, it ain't like Dame come over here anyway. And then Reg co-signed it another day, like, yo, what's up with the Dame nigga, man? That's his car you driving? I was like, you talking about the Camry? I'm like, nah, I lied because I didn't want the niggas try to take the car from me. These was my niggas, but you couldn't trust these niggas. I could trust Reg a little more than Lee. Like, Reg was my man. But I'm not going to sit there and say that it was Dame car. These niggas killed the nigga. I ain't going to say the nigga name. They killed the nigga from 40th over a lease before when I was about 12, 13 years old. And I'm like, yo, these niggas killing niggas over a lease. And they grew up with the nigga. Hell no, I ain't letting niggas know this Dame car. So now they want to know what kind of cars Dame is driving, so on and so forth. So I'm like, yo, listen, man, I ain't even gonna tell Dame to come over here anymore because it ain't like Dame could pull up on 40th or 39th Street and just walk in that park. Nobody could at that era. If you ain't know somebody or you was coming to see somebody during that time, late 80s, early 90s, even into the late 90s, you could not just pull up on 39th and sit in the park unless it was like a park jam or something going on a regular day. Nah, bro. You had to be a member just about. You really had to be a member. I'm talking about even if you lived in the neighborhood. You couldn't just be pulling up, chilling out in the park. You had to know somebody to come in there. That's just the way it was. So I wasn't worried about Dame coming back over there. But I knew Lee and them niggas didn't like Dame. And I was like, damn, man, I'm just not gonna have Dame come over here no more. So if Dame was trying to rent, and Big L didn't really care for him either, they would have booked you, nigga. If we had bricks in the car or something like that, L would have made a call and you would have got booked. Straight like that. But the whole shit was just a lie. And I was more disappointed that you would pick Big L as opposed to one of your homeboys. And I ain't gonna name your homeboys, but you got a million homeboys. You could have been like, right, that happened, so-and-so, right, that happened, so-and-so. You picked a dead nigga to tell the story because you know it's nobody who can back what you're talking about besides me. And Big L was my man before he was your man. You sound stupid. And I'm disappointed. I'm ready to give you a lie detector test, nigga. Secondly, he talking about we never sold drugs together. We did. We did. I never said I sold drugs with you. I used to ride around with you when you was taking drugs to Brooklyn or other places or whatever. The one time that we was going to cook up some work, because I had a spot, shout out to my man Howie Long on 137th Street. He told me that I could put some work on his block. He had a little situation over there in the 90s. And we went to get some work. And we got to your crib. And we pulled the coffee pot out, about to cook it up, and your baby mom called, Boogie's mom. And she was like, yeah, I know you're a drug dealer. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but Dame was just on her phone like, I've never sold drugs. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a drug dealer while he's packing the work up. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, yo, this bitch must have been following us. I'm like, what the fuck going on? He said, this bitch talking all this drug shit. And what he did was he called Mo from B Building. Shout out to the niggas in 1199. Called Mo or Kev. Either Mo or Kev, I believe it was Mo, to come grab the work that we was about to cook up in his crib because he thought his baby mother called the cops on him. So it never panned out. You know, you sit here and see him be praising Duke the guy, like, yo, Duke's a soldier, Duke did this. I plugged him with Duke. They never talk about that. Me and Dame riding around, he got to work, and he like wanted to put crackheads in the car, following the crackhead in the cab, and we following the crackhead this, that, that. I'm like, yo, you know my man got a license. Duke was like 15, 16 with a license, because you could get your license at 15 in South Carolina. And people know Duke.
Yes, you can.
Shout out to my man Duke the guy. So he like, your man got a license. I'm like, yeah, I'm plug you into him. So I plugged him into Duke. And Duke started driving around with the work, taking it to Brooklyn or wherever else it needed to go. And that's how their relationship built. And I was happy about that. I'm happy that Duke was getting some money and Dame found a nigga that he could trust, that he didn't have to keep putting fucking crackheads in cars and following them. So fast forward, when the labels start jumping off years and years later, and you know, I wasn't with Dame, with Rockefeller at the time, but I was bumping into Dame and I'd be like, yo, you should give Duke a job, man. That nigga put some pain in. That nigga, he ain't asked no questions. He just did what he had to do. You should get that nigga a job. That nigga was thorough. He said, well, Duke's a good soldier. I don't know if he's intelligent enough to work at the office or anything like that, but he definitely was a good soldier. He's one of them niggas, definitely official. What about the job? The nigga, you throw shit in the trunk and he asks no questions, and you can't even see if he good enough for a job? No, working in the office is one thing, being a soldier is a whole nother thing. All right, cool, my nigga. I hear you. That's a fact. Ask Duke if you want. I know. And that's just a testament, because they always talk about how he's a thorough, and you never wonder how they met each other. That's how they met each other. So back to the other shit now. Back, you know, because they try to defame my character. When I be talking about being in these towns, in Chicago and Ohio, you ever see anybody dispute me? You ever see niggas be like, Kim, we never seen you out here. You ain't no Ohio, the fuck you mean, nigga? You ain't wasn't no West Side. You ever see niggas dispute it? Or you see niggas co-sign it? Like, nah, Cam was out here, nigga. Cam was out here, nigga. I remember when we did the Diplomat deal at Rockefeller. I was signed to Rockefeller as an artist, CAMRON. But I've got to think about this. I already have my niggas together, and they wanted to get the deal because we've been through turmoil. So I'm telling Dame, I got this Diplomat thing. We put mixtapes on the street. I want to sign them as well. Dame said, look, Cam, you just got here, and you need to get yourself together. We'll worry about them later. I said, no problem. I go down to Kevin Lyle's office, have a meeting with Kevin Lyle's, play the Diplomat album, tell him about Jim, Jewels, everybody else. Kev was in love with the project. He said, we can't do Jim now, but we'll do Jewels and the Diplomats. And Jim ended up going to college. Like Jim, one day somebody should ask Jim, like, what made you go to college? Because I never even asked, but it was Jim's idea to be like, y'all niggas ain't leaving me. I'm going to some record label and figure it out. So I never even asked him. We just ended up doing business with it, but Jim ended up going to college. So Diplomats and Jewels was a Def Jam, or was about to be a Def Jam. Kevin Lyle said, I want to do the deal for X amount of dollars. Cool, bet, we good. I go back and tell Dane, yo, I'm going to do this deal with Def Jam, the deal that you told me I should wait on with Jewels and Diplomats. Yeah, Kev's gonna give me the deal. What the fuck you mean Kevin Lyle's gonna give you the deal? Let's go down to his office now, Kev. I said, no, Dave, no. We worked the numbers out. The deal is done. No, fuck that, Cam. He only doing that to get me mad. What, you think he gonna offer up that much money just to make you mad? You don't think he believes in the talent of Diplomats or Jewels or whatever? Dame goes down there, starts screaming at Kevin Lyles, saying, "You just did this deal to get Cam mad, yada, 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 yada." Kevin Lyles is sitting there mad, calm, like, Dame, I get paid a salary. I don't care if it goes through Rockefeller or Def Jam. I get the same check. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, well, it's going through Rockefeller. Da, da, da. I said, Dame, bro, you didn't want the fucking deal.